When you are a freaking flyer like me, you've probably spent some time in one of these, an airport lounge. So has my friend Erin. In fact, she's told me tales of airport lounges with some pretty impressive bourbon selections. Well, after hearing all that, it was clear what we had to do.
So today we are flying to Atlanta and then flying back in the same day. And we are going to be bar crawling the Atlanta airport.
We're going to have a 5-hour layover before heading back home. We'll start at the American Express Centurion Lounge. From there, we'll hit up as many Delta Sky Clubs as possible. We'll check out the bar scene and rate them accordingly. All right,
awesome.
Bar number 1.
Ah,
Cheers.
There we go. Now, real ones know that there's kind of like an unofficial trading card game in the Delta cockpit. And each type of plane has this cool trading card. Today, I got Team USA card.
Look at this.
I was literally squealing. I was squealing.
After enjoying a couple of drinks and geeking out on Delta's aviation collectibles, it was time to give our ratings. We decided to rate each lounge in 3 areas: vibes, pours, and cocktails. Vibes refers to the bar and lounge itself. Pours refers to the selection of available bourbon. And for cocktails, we'll be judging each bar on their ability to make the quintessential bourbon cocktail, the old-fashioned. So on vibes, how did we feel about the Centurion Lounge?
So I would give it like a 4. The staff is great. Service is great. It's beautiful finishes. Maybe I'd give it like a 4.5, actually.
I think in the whole universe of lounges, I think it's top tier. So let's go to selection.
So they have a great selection. They have Maker's Cask Strength. They have Michter's Rye. They have Sazerac Rye. They have a lot of things that you just kind of wouldn't normally find at like an airport bar. But 2 of the things that I had always loved about that bar is that you could get the latest Elijah Craig Barrel Proof there and Ancient Age 10-star. And what happened when we came in this time?
They said they didn't have it.
But listen, 11 out of 5. Our old fashioned was great. Is it the best old fashioned I've ever had in my life? No. But is it the best old fashioned I've ever had at an airport? Yeah, I think so. I'd give it a 5. It did have a cherry in it, which I'm a well known for my anti-cherry stance. But it was still a Luxardo cherry, which I give props for. They said, oh, well, what bourbon do you want with it, right? And we said, you choose. And she chose the Mileman Green Triple Cask.
Very
which was like,
impressed by that choice. Okay, our first lounge is in the books. Now off to the next lounge. But first, a pit stop at the local duty free.
We got Blanton's on Blanton's on Blanton's on Blanton's on Blanton's on Blanton's on Blanton's. How much is this? Oh, 159 Earth dollars. Oh, what's BSB? Brown sugar bourbon.
Isn't that Jimmy Fox's brand?
I don't know who Jimmy Fox is.
Jamie Foxx?
Oh, Jamie Foxx.
She take my money when I'm in need.
Ooh, what perfume can I spray on myself?
So we just came from the concourse Delta Sky Terminal. So let's talk about what we thought.
Yeah, so vibes, I'd give it like 3.5. Now, our bartender was wonderful. He was excellent, really upbeat, really knowledgeable, but it was also full of like a lot of like random weird travelers too.
You think? Does it walk?
No.
It does not walk. Looks like a robot. It could be. I like this. I like the space. I like how big it was. I like that even though there was a lot of people in there, it wasn't very crowded.
So this is going to be like, I think our pours metric is going to be pretty much the same for all the Delta lounges. Right now, Old Forester is their included for bourbon. Everything else, they also have Whistle Pig, Uncle Nearest, Michter's, Maker's Mark. They have quite a few others, but you will have to pay for those. So for me, I mean, selection for pours, that's going to be, I'm going to give it like a 3.5.
So what do we think about the cocktails?
I'm going to give it a 4. So 4 out of 5. It wasn't too sweet. It was a little orangey. The orange peel was actually really beautifully done. It was like, had just enough, like not pith, but it had enough thickness to it, which I really enjoyed.
Okay, we realize that most of the Delta Sky clubs are going to offer a mostly identical experience when it comes to pours. So going forward, let's just assume it's going to get a 3 to 3.5 out of 5. So we're now entering the international terminal. And my thing is that...
Ooh, the duty free.
Oh, we have to go to another duty free.
Hi. And look at the newest release from Buffalo Trace.
Wait, Buffalo Trace Black Label?
I know. Triple cask edition. We've got Jack Daniel's Single Select. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's export only. That's actually cool. Sherry finish, though. It's overdone. Well, obviously, we have the Blanton's.
I lied. I would never buy this.
This is fascinating. There's like no bourbon here. There's Blanton's and then like Jack Daniel's, but like that's it.
With Atlanta Airport's duty-free scene fully examined, It was time to check out the Delta Sky Club in Atlanta's International Concourse. Okay, Aaron, we got to talk about the Delta Sky Lounge. We just came out of Concourse F, International Lounge. What do we think?
I find that the ones in the domestic terminals are better.
So on the vibes, where are we going to scale here?
Okay, vibes, I'm going to give it a 4 because of the terrace.
Ooh, that's a good point. Only so many airports have that great viewpoint.
So for cocktails, I would actually give the one there a 4 as well. I thought it was a little bit more balanced, but where I'm going to dock a little bit of the point where it was like maybe a 4.25 or a 4.5 was the orange peel was a little bit of a struggle. Like the orange peel was like little teeny sliver. It was just a little much.
It's really interesting because we're now entering a stretch where all of the lounges we're going to visit now are going to do similar kind of cocktails.
Yeah, and see, this is the great thing about the old fashioned though, is that it's such a cool drink because it's so simple, but it's so easy to fuck up.
After 3 lounges, it was time to take a break from all those Delta Sky Clubs and see what the club at ATL has to offer. We need to talk about the experience that was the club at ATL.
Vibes won. And the only reason Vibes won is because the type of people who were in there were just like bananas weird. Mm-hmm. Like, it was a little feral.
So let's go on next. So what do you think about the selection?
The bourbons that they had were weird, right? Like they said the bourbon was Jim Beam or Jim Beam Black. And like, yes, I know that Jim Beam is technically bourbon, but at the same time, it's like, is it though?
It was interesting because I expected more from
Me too.
our experiencing ordering an old fashioned at the club at ATL.
I said, oh yeah, I know we're going to get 2 old fashions. I kind of went downhill from there. We did say that we wanted it with Jim Beam Black. So they made it they threw like 3 cherries in there, a whole slice of orange, muddled the shit out of it, put Ango in there, which to my heart, I don't like a muddled old fashioned. I just really don't. It's not my thing. And then they put Jim Beam Rye in there, and we just kind of like weren't paying attention. And we were like, okay, like we'll probably drink it anyways. But then they realized what they had done. And what they did to rectify it was to then strain out all of the cocktail into another glass and then pour full on fucking Jim Beam Black about 3-4 ounces into the glass. We were both just like, this is just all whiskey.
Aaron, you know that meme everyone knows now about the improper way to make an old fashioned?
Hmm.
It's like,
you mean that lady who was just like, and now like 5 ounces of Jim Beam?
Yeah.
That's what we just got.
We just witnessed that ourselves.
We just got that.
So
honestly, it's not bad. You know why? Because it just tastes like Jim Beam 7 year. It's not an old fashioned.
This is straight up Jim Beam Black.
I'm not mad. Value, 1,000.
I was going to say this right now. Like, are we mad
Value
at the
is
fact that
1,000.
she just gave us a glass full of whiskey?
Value, 1,000.
Okay. After that interesting experience at the bar, perhaps it's time to go back to the safety and conformity of another Delta Sky Club.
So if I ever get married, which is probably never, let's be real, not my really like goal. But if I ever do get married, I want to get married at the Taco Bell Cantina in Las Vegas. Now, Terminal C is a smaller lounge. Vibes, I would give it, I'd give it like a 3.5, right? Everyone was pretty friendly, but it was still pretty small. But again, there was no like actual bar seats, so you had to sit at like tables. I'd give the old fashioned at C a 3. It was not bad, but it was like very short for some reason. It was a lot of ice. And like generally old fashions will take up about this much of the glass. Like it's the way maybe they stir it or it's the proportions. But the way that this one was, it was like literally like just, it was liquid to here and then just ice.
Okay, 5 lounges in and we are still upright. Barely. I've been having a great time. Cheers.
This has been so much fun.
Again,
oh my God.
All we've been doing has just been drinking at various airport lounges.
And eating snacks. You know what goes great with bourbon?
What?
And pralines.
Sick.
I was like, you're not allergic to nuts, are you?
Not really.
Not really?
We have time for one last lounge before catching our flight home.
We are in Concourse B. And I've been in this lounge before. I think this is the largest lounge for Delta in Atlanta. One thing I will say is they don't have a lot of bar seating because we did try to get bar seating, but it was like very sparse. So vibes, I'm going to give it a 2.
We had no problem getting in.
Nope,
but
no
once
line.
we get in,
I had to do a couple of rounds over to even find these seats for us to sit.
And so on cocktails, though, I'm going to give this one a 4.5. And I mean, the drink is perfect. I didn't think that it was overly boozy. Maybe a little bit at the beginning. It was a little bit boozy, but once it starts to dilute a little, it was really lovely balance. The craftsmanship was great. No cherry, which I love.
There it is, 6 lounges in 5 hours. We had a lot of fun, tasted a lot of old fashions, and explored a lot of the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport.